Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be looking at how to create sketch maps at enlarged as well as reduced map scales. Now, maps may be classified in different ways, and one way we can classify maps is based on the scale. Thus, we can talk about small scale maps and large scale maps. Large scale maps show a smaller geographical area, but with greater amount of detail. A small scale map, on the other hand, shows a larger geographic area with less details. So it is the amount of details being shown that will determine whether the map is considered to be small scale or large scale. Now, the larger the scale of the map, the better the features can be detailed. The smaller the scale of the map, the less the actual detail of a feature is preserved. Notice that the small scale map is showing a wider geographical area. It is showing North America, which includes Canada, USA, and Mexico. However, notice also that we are not able to see the details of the political divisions within each country. Also, notice that the scale, which is here expressed as a ratio or representative fraction, has a larger number to the right of the colon. For a large scale map, which in this case is showing Canada, which is a smaller geographical area than North America, we are able to see the details of the political divisions within the country. Also, notice that the scale has a smaller number to the right of the colon. One of the skills you need to develop as a geographer is that of creating maps. And for your exams, you might be required to actually create a sketch map from a printed map. A sketch map is a roughly drawn map that shows only basic details. It is an outline drawn from observation rather than from exact survey measurements. It is used to draw attention to selected features as well as a selected part of the map extract. It may also be used to show the relationship between different features of a map. Sketch maps may be drawn at the original scale, or they may be drawn at an enlarged scale, or even a reduced scale. We can reduce and enlarge maps by changing the spacing of the grid lines and then using these grid lines to guide us in copying the features we would like to show from the original map. Now, let's say that we have this printed map in front of us and we wish to create a sketch map from it, which is reduced to half of the size of this map. We only want to show features from easting 13 to 16 and northing 14 to 16. We're not interested in showing the entire map extract. Also, we do not want to show all of the features in the selected area. We only intend to show the Rio Cobre River, the main road, as well as the sugar estate. The first thing we will do is to draw a grid of the area of the map that we have selected. Notice that the scale of the original map is 1 to 50,000. And on a 1 to 50,000 map, the grid lines are spaced 2 centimeters apart. So because we are making our sketch maps at half the size of the original map, we are going to space our grid lines at 1 centimeter intervals. Now that we have our grid lines in place, we are going to use our grid lines to guide us in putting on the features that we want to show. So first, we will use pencil. And the reason we are using pencil is that if we make any mistake, we can correct our mistake. We're going to use our pencil to put in our main road. After this, we are also going to use our pencil to put in the Rio Cobre River, and we are going to ensure that the shape and the pattern of the river that we are drawing reflects the shape and pattern of the river on the original map. And to do this, we have to use the grid lines. After we've drawn our river, it is time to put in the sugar estate. Again, we do this first with our pencil. Now, after putting in the features with pencil, we are going to put in the colors on the features. We are going to use red to show the main road. We are going to use blue to show the river. And we're going to use yellow to put in the sugar estate. Now, unlike the road and the river, which are line features, the sugar estate is showing an area. And to show that area, we will need to shade inside of the area. Now, we need to try to shade our area neatly. And if you are unable to shade the area neatly, one of the things that I would suggest that you do is to get your ruler and just draw some straight parallel lines to fill in the area. Now, since the sketch map is drawn half the size of the original map, we need to make sure that the scale is reflecting this. And therefore, we will have to carry out a short calculation. Remember that the scale for the original map is 1 to 50,000. And so what we do is we will multiply the 1 to 50,000 by a half. So we put 1 over 50,000 multiplied by 1 over 2. And that gives us 1 over 100,000. And expressed as a ratio, it is 1 to 100,000. Remember that when the number to the right of the colon is larger, it actually indicates that the scale is smaller. So a 1 to 100,000 scale is actually smaller than a 1 to 50,000 scale. In fact, it is half the size of the 1 to 50,000 scale. Now that we have our new scale, we will complete our map by putting in all the different map elements, including our title, our key, our north arrow, and of course our scale. At this point, if we wish, we could also remove the grid lines and the grid numbers and leave the border, or we could leave them as is. Now, what if we wanted to create a sketch map at an enlarged scale? Let us say that we wanted to show the area between easting 14 and 16 and northing 14 and 15. And we want to do this so that the sketch map will double the size of the original map. To do this, we will once again have to change the spacing of the grid lines. Now that the sketch map will be doubled the size of the printed map, we are going to change the spacing of the grid lines to 4 centimeters apart. Remember that for the original map, the spacing is 2 centimeters apart. Now that we have our grid lines, we are going to put in our selected features. Now, because this is, we have more space working with, we can actually put in more features without the map being overcrowded. So this time, we are not only going to put in the road, the river, and the sugar estate, we are also going to put in the woodland. After putting these features in with pencil, we will then use appropriate colors to represent each of the features. Next, we will finish up by putting in our map elements. Now, notice that this time the scale has been changed to 1 to 25,000. Again, we had to carry out a little calculation. Since the original scale is 1 to 50,000, we are doubling this. So we put 1 over 50,000 multiplied by 2 over 1, which is the same as 2. After doing this, we will simplify by saying 2 into itself goes 1 time, 2 into 50,000 goes 25,000 times. And this will give us 1 over 25,000, which when expressed as a ratio is 1 to 25,000. So notice that the number to the right is smaller than in the case of the original scale, and that indicates that the scale is larger. All right, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe.